Welcome back to the another concept in human health and disease, that is immunity. Before we had discussed about the health and diseases from bacterial, viral, fungal, protozoan and some helminthal parasite diseases. Now concept is about immunity. Define immunity. Immunity is a resistance, general resistance that against the infections. Resistance against infections. Any kind of infections generally happen in our body, but not every next day we are infecting or showing some symptoms. Why? Because we have a general power that is called immunity by some cumulative systems working, nothing but a circulatory system and some circulatory system cells, blood cells and some lymph glands, lymph vessels, lymph tissue. So many things are together work and provide a lot of defense to our body. So in this session you are going to learn about what is immunity, what are different types of immunity that serves our body that against to infections of several germs. This immunity is generally two types. By birth we will get some immunity. This is a very common. So this is non-specific. Non-specific immunity. Why it is non-specific? In everyone body, this by birth immunity is common. It is not differentiated from one individual to another individual. That is why it is called innate immunity. Innate immunity. Very important thing. Innate means by birth. Immunity means resistance against disease. Maybe from our mother, or generally in the formation of embryogenesis, the cells which can provide the defense are derived. All these are very common. No one can escape from this innate immunity. That's why it is called by birth. As it is found in everyone, this is called non-specific. Whereas on the other hand, specific immunity is there. Specific immunity, it is not by birth, it comes after the birth. After birth, depends upon the situations where we are growing and our circumstances and our mode of infections, our ability, our resistance power all together gives immunity that is called acquired immunity. Acquired immunity. Acquired immunity is not same in everyone. Suppose if you think some children in slum, they do not have a proper shelter for living, they use it to make some curtains as a house, daras, just beside the dirty canal or slum areas. Some persons who are living in air-conditioned rooms and a high-fi and luxury lifestyle, they use it to get infect very quick. Means they are very sensitive. Who are being in the luxury life. People who are in the slum area, they always infect, so that they are getting resistance. They are acquired one by one in their entire growing time. So finally, they provide resistance for every disease. So too much of sensitivity in lifestyle is also another impact to lose our general immunity. So what I would like to tell you here, acquired immunity is it depends upon the individual. That is why it is specific. In my body, acquired immunity is different. In some other body, acquired immunity is different. Suppose now there was a pandemic disease going on, that is COVID-19. So 35 years people are easily infecting, 60 age people also easily infecting, not maximum children. Why? They are already immunized. They had taken a lot of vaccines. Because of that vaccines, this COVID-19 cannot overcome the human resistance. Understand? So specific immunity is different, non-specific immunity is different. Non-specific immunity is also called innate immunity or by birth immunity. Specific immunity is also called acquired immunity. Acquired means what? Adapting. So that it is also called adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity. First, let me introduce what is innate immunity and what are the aspects present in the innate immunity that were very common in everybody. Let me focus on the innate immunity first. Innate immunity is a very common immunity in everybody. It is providing 4 barriers. In that, first one is physical barrier. Physical barriers. What are physical barriers? If you observe, skin, mucous lining, and a lining of respiratory tract, gastric tract, and reproductive tract is able to trap many organisms when they enter. Suppose every day our body is exposed to atmosphere in different areas. Maybe sometimes when we walk just beside a dirty canal, from that many bacteria comes, and that bacteria used to try to enter our body into the blood through the skin. Means here skin is a barrier. Our blood is not directly exposing. The blood is surrounded in blood vessels. The blood vessel is connective tissue that is covered by a skin, connective tissue. So the skin is a barrier. Without skin, it's a lot of chance. There is a lot of chance for infection. So skin is a physical barrier. Even though many organisms are try to enter, skin is preventing. That's why it is a physical barrier. What is mucous lining? If you see from nose to the lungs, there was a line is there, mucous lining. From mouth to intestine, there was a lining is there. That lines in first year digestive system time you will learn that gastrointestinal lining, gut associated lymphoid tissue, all these mucus associated lymphoid tissue. What all these? These are linings. GALT, gut associated lymphoid tissue. MALT, mucus associated lymphoid tissue, as well as hair. Hair is also preventing lot of entry of microorganisms. Nasal hair, okay, and cerumen. All these all are barriers. Cerumen is a secretion; it is not. And hair particles also used to trap the microorganisms when air enters in our body. This is why it is called physical barrier. The barrier that prevents the entry of many organisms into our body, that are microorganisms. Example: skin, mucous lining, malt, guard, lining of respiration, that is nothing but that is a malt, gastric tract, that is guard, reproductive tract, from the vagina to cervix, uterus in the female in case, whereas in the male that reproductive lining, epididymis and all, where sperm travel, that is also lined by some protective layers. All these are called physical barriers. These all are present in everyone. That's why the physical barriers are placed in the non-specific. It is not specialized. In everyone this is common. Now, second thing, if you see physiological barriers. Physiological barriers. Physical barriers means they are lining, whereas physiological barriers means they are secreting. They secrete some chemicals to avoid the infections or entry of pathogens. What kind of secretions? If you see saliva is present in the mouth from salivary gland. It is a digestive juice which consists of an enzyme. What is that? ptyalin enzyme that breaks the nutrition part, that is carbohydrates. Apart from the ptyalin, there was a lysozyme enzyme is present. What was that? Lysozyme. As this lysozyme enzyme is present, which breaks the peptidoglycan. Lysozyme breaks the bacterial cell wall. Bacterial cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. So once a peptidoglycan broken up, cell lysis takes place, bacteria dies. So many bacterial infections couldn't happen. So lysozyme is present in the saliva as well as sweat, as well as tears and all. In all these three, saliva, sweat and tears, all these three consist of lysozyme. That's why all these three are also example of physiological barrier. Apart from that, gastric juice consists of a pH that is 1.8 to 2.0, which is highly acidic. Even sometimes the bacteria cannot be trapped by the lining. In acidic medium in the stomach, they die. So in part of physiological barrier, what is the principle? By secreting, so many germs cannot enter our body. But whereas a physical barrier, that is a lining, border, because of its existence, organisms cannot enter. That are nothing but microorganisms. And so many are there. Other body fluids also. Next, third one. Cytological barriers. Cytological barriers are also called cellular barriers. Cellular barriers. Some cells, though, can act as phagocytic cells. What is phagocytic? If any germs like a bacteria or virus, probably by overcoming all these physical and physiological barriers, sometimes when our physical and physiological are in weak stage, then that enters to the body fluids. Body fluids nothing but blood and lymph. That time much blood cells, nothing but white blood cells, that are acting as a phagocytic cells. Blood cells are so many types: granulocytes and agranulocytes. If you think the granulocytes, acidophils, basophils and neutrophils, whereas agranulocytes, monocytes and lymphocytes. Apart from all the five, among all the five, there were two cells can act as phagocytic cells. They are neutrophils. Neutrophils are phagocytic, but they are granulocytes, and agranulocytic phagocytes are monocytes. So neutrophils are also called polymorphonuclear cells. Monocytes are also called macrophages. Neutrophils and monocytes, these two in white blood cells group, can act as phagocytes. What is phagocytosis? They have a ability to expand their cytoplasm along with the plasma membrane as a pseudopodia, just like amoeboid movement. So by using their pseudopodia, they engulf the bacteria or any other microorganisms and they digest inside themselves. So that is how they are avoiding the existence of microorganisms in our body. The process is called phagocytosis. Not all cells, neutrophils and monocytes. Neutrophils are phagocytic cells, but they belongs to granulocytic group, whereas monocytes are also phagocytic cells, but they belongs to agranulocytic group. Granules were absent. Apart from three, the fourth one is there. They are called cytokinin barriers. No need to confuse all these four. All these four belongs to non-specific or innate immunity, by birth immunity, but everything has their own style, own strategy. Their strategy is lining. Whose? Physical barriers, just like a skin and malt and gall. Whereas physiological barrier, they secrete something. In that conditions, organisms are dying. Secretions is the principle over here. Next, cytological barriers or cellular barriers, they can perform phagocytosis by pseudopodial actions. They can do. All three are different in their actions. Fourth one is different than other three. Cytokinin barriers. Here, if you think there was a cell that is infected already, infected by bacteria, infected by bacteria, such cells, this is already spoiled. Such cells are releasing some chemicals are called interleukins. Leukocytes, WBC, generally leukins. Chemicals released by bacterial infected cells. I repeat, some cells already infected by bacteria, they release some chemicals are called interleukins. They communicate other healthy cells to avoid the infection. So that is how it is called cytokinins. Cyto means cell. Kinin means secretions. Secretions of infected cells also helps to avoid germs actions. Whereas interleukins means bacterial cells bacterial cells releasing some chemicals are called interleukins. Whereas in case of it is infected by virus, infected by virus, viral infected cells releasing a chemical is called interferons. Interferons. These interferons, just like interleukins, they communicate other healthy cells in the circumstances near. Then they inform the range of infection of the pathogen to the cells. That is a different aspect, cell and signaling process that comes in the MBBS first and second year, second and third year, not now. But you have to understand interleukins and interferons are the chemicals. They are secreted by bacterial and viral respectively, and they avoid infections much more effect in near tissue. So these four are common in everybody after birth. What are they? Physical barriers, physiological barriers, cytological barriers or cellular barriers, and cytokinins. They are also called interleukins and interferons. All these four under the innate immunity. Understand? Innate immunity means very common immunity, not specific immunity. It is also called barrier immunity. It is also called barrier immunity. Then what is non-barrier immunity? What is specific immunity? What is acquired immunity or adaptive immunity? Let us see. In animals, apart from the innate immunity, there was a specific immunity called acquired immunity. As we are adopting by our day by day life, daily life, according to our circumstances we are living, so it is also called acquired or adaptive. It is of two types: passive natural acquired and artificial acquired. Listen carefully. If you not attentive, means not properly focused, then a lot of confusions will happen here. Natural acquired immunity. It is again two types: passive and active. Passive and active. Again, artificial acquired immunity is also two types: passive and active. Sorry. What is natural acquired passive or passive natural acquired? Example: placenta, colostrum and what? Everyone in the embryogenesis during pregnancy, we are connected to our mother placenta. It is mandatory. Without that, there is no nourishment of embryo. So from the placenta, antibody type G will be transferred from our mother. Antibody type G. There were 5 types of antibodies are there. Antibody structure and function and the types will be learned in the next class. We just remind antibody type G. It is also called immunoglobulin G. Antibodies are also called immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins which type? G type. Okay. Whereas, so every child must have antibodies G. Why? Every child is coming from placenta. Now, colostrum. What is colostrum? Early mother's milk. Nothing but what is colostrum? Colostrum is a 1 to 3 months of milk after parturition. So a baby was delivered, then the mother after parturition she can provide first 5 days of milk is called colostrum. Even though lactation period is 3 months or 6 months, but first few days of mother's milk is called colostrum. It consists of antibody type A. This is also very important to avoid lot of allergic reactions and infections in the child. Sometimes after childbirth, mother couldn't able to produce the milk due to some hormonal imbalance or some other psychological reasons. That time baby will be avoided or neglected by the colostrum. That time what does the baby going to give is antibody type A. Such babies, such a neglected child in future, in further in their growth, they will face a lot of problems by the infection. Why? Because it is specific first to control some kind of germs. That is why. So placenta we cannot stop, and colostrum is also very important from the mother. These two are naturally coming. See, baby is drinking mother's milk for the feed, but along with the mother's milk, the antibody is also present inside it. So it is naturally going, passively going. We are not introducing into the mother's milk. That's why these two are the best examples for passive. In that they are natural. They are acquired. Slowly they are adopting their performance in our immune system. After passive natural, let us discuss about the active natural. Example for active natural is disease. Disease or infection. Infection is quite natural. No one can go and inject the bacteria or virus. Generally, according to the situations, according to the hygienity, and according to our maintenance of our body, and according to our habits, they will be infected. But infection is natural. So, once we infected, we may lose our immunity first time, but we develop the resistance for a specific disease, but the same infection happens second time, our body is not so easily respond or affect. So once an infection taken place, for the same infection our body gets ready for very strong. That is why diseases are active. They are active our body. So that's why it's the secondary immune response. First time a disease may happen, but the same disease definitely cannot overcome our immune system second time. If it is even second time or third time, means in a particular body the immune system is very weak is the meaning. So first segment is completed, that is natural immunity. Natural immunity again passive and active. Now on the other hand, artificial acquired immunity is there. Artificial acquired immunity, in that artificial first one is passive. Here example is monoclonal antibodies. Monoclonal antibodies. What are monoclonal antibodies? Very simple example I can give you. If a snake bites a human, that snake's venom may impact on our nervous system, our circulatory system, or muscular system. Very little span after 5 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour within person will die. That protein inhibits lot of enzymes actions in our body. And doctors use it to provide anti-venom against to the snake's poison. Then person will be recovered gradually. Where does this anti-venom means medicine against to the snake bite produced? Do you know? Horse and some other cattle helps us to get the anti-venom. How does it help? I'll tell you in very little format. A snake bites the horse, then inside the horse blood antibodies will develop against to the snake bite, snake venom. So nothing will happen. In our body that couldn't happen. So but in horse body the antibodies are present in the blood. If we collect the horse blood and centrifuge, that antibodies are available in the serum. Serum means what? A white color fluid that floating above the blood, on the surface of blood. If we collect the serum, then that is act as anti-venom. If we inject the serum into the person who bitten by the snake, then the person will be recovered. So antibodies are developed in the horse, but they are artificial, not in our body, but passively they are developed and we are giving into our body. That's why it's called artificial acquired. Next one is artificial active. Artificial active, here example, artificial active example is vaccines. Vaccine is artificial immunization. Artificial immunization. We are giving weakened, attenuated or killer microorganisms into our body. So our body responds to the fake organisms, but they produce real antibodies. In future, if any real microorganisms comes, already prepared real antibodies fight along with that stamina and their boosts. Nothing but vaccines again and again boost up, and the active vaccines can easily prevent the real infections. That's why vaccines are also acquired and artificial. I hope you understand the natural and artificial. Artificial passive example, monoclonal antibodies. So another example for the monoclonal antibodies I can give. Nowadays there was a virus is shaking entire the world, that is COVID-19. So have you heard about the serum donors? Yes. Suppose if you are already infected by COVID-19 but nothing is happened in your body, means your resistance is very good. So but because of your resistance, you already prepared antibodies against the COVID-19 virus. If I collect the blood of you, means already you are infected. In your blood, antibodies are there. Where? In the blood. In blood, if I centrifuge, serum will come, floating substance. In that, if I collect the antibodies and inject it to the another person, it kind of a vaccine. That's why serum donors are very important. But this is not good. But this is not correctly avowed in the society. That's why people are not ready to donate. That's why people are not ready to donate their serum. That's why plasma donation, serum donation means antibodies already succeed against a particular disease are existing. We have to donate that to save a lot of lives. The technique is called monoclonal antibodies or hybridoma technology. It is example for passive artificial. This is how we learn about acquired immunity. I will tell you another technique to learn it. We learned this pattern, that is acquired immunity is natural and artificial. In that again passive and active. Here also passive and active. We can also learn as another pattern. Acquired immunity is two types, passive and active. In the passive, natural and artificial. Here again in the active, natural and artificial. Anywhere we can easily identify these such examples according to the pattern. I hope you understand and revise entire the information today I taught, that are what is immunity, what is a barrier immunity, what is non-barrier immunity, what is the difference between innate immunity and acquired immunity, how many barriers are there in the innate immunity, that are say some physical barriers, physiological barriers, cellular barriers and cytokines. Whereas here also 4, there also 4. Here acquired, natural, passive, or acquired, passive, natural, acquired, active, natural, acquired, passive, artificial, acquired, active, artificial. Just like that. 4 plus 4, 8 aspects you have learned. The difference is this is not same in all the individuals. That's why it's called specific. That is same in everyone. That's why it's called non-specific. Return the assignment way, proper knowledge. All the best. Thank you.